Hey everybody, it's Alison. I'm not sure if you can hear the water, but I just want you to see it's pretty beautiful today, but very strong current, which is kind of common here when the tide's high. Anyway, hello and welcome. This is Alison of Thriving While Disabled, and today I want to talk to you about the importance of sleep and why your sleep schedule might be interrupted due to COVID-19 and what to do about it. So I know a lot of people are dealing with anxiety over COVID-19. Anxiety is a somewhat appropriate response, but we've got to manage it just like everything else. So there's a couple of things. One is, like I meant to mention yesterday and will now, things like this, large events that disrupt life, disrupt all of the usual patterns and schedules that we have. If you've got kids, they're not in school. A lot of people are working from home or not able to work, and things like that, all of which disrupt our schedules. And very often when our routines are disrupted, the routines that don't have to be disrupted also are. So since you don't have to wake up early for work, for example, you might let yourself stay up later, and then you're falling out of your sleep patterns. Just as an example, I know for me, on top of my FND, I have a history with depression and anxiety, so they're consistently on my mind as things I need to manage. And all of the news and stories about COVID-19 has my anxiety up a couple of notches. And anxiety is one of those things that can often interfere with sleep and sleep patterns. So that right there is working against us, in all honesty, as far as sleep's concerned. The breaking of patterns. Our brains get accustomed to certain things that help tell us that we're getting ready to sleep. I'm among people who try to read before I go to sleep. So part of how my brain calms down at most nights is, for a while, I'm lying in bed with just the book. And the lights are low or off, and I'm in the dark reading a book. Well, anxiety and things like that, I'm playing more games, which means that the light I'm exposed to is different, and so my brain isn't getting the sleep schedules as well as it could otherwise. So there's a lot of different pieces to all of this, but I just want to say it's really easy right now for your sleep patterns to get messed up, both because of the increase of stress in our lives right now and just because all of our patterns are disrupted. So what can you do? Well, there's a few things. One of them is simply rebuild patterns. I put up a post yesterday about that, where I talked about the importance of having schedules and patterns in our lives. And if they're not made externally, you can make them internal. You can think about it and decide what time you're going to get up or what time you're going to bed. You can also either start or reboot other routines to help yourself. Light is a big indicator for us about sleepiness. Think about how often on a cloudy day you start getting a little tired. Well, part of that is because you're not getting as much white light as you would otherwise. And so, unfortunately, we're now getting white light a lot more often than we used to, because that white light is what we're getting from every light in our apartments most of the time, every light where we live. Street lights, computers, all of those things put out white light, which tells our brain, hey, it's time to be up. And that's not helpful for getting a good night's sleep. What can you do? Well, there's a few things. One is you can put dimmer lights in around your apartment or where you're going to, in your bedroom where you're going to sleep. Have there be more dark. Have there be more quiet. Cut out the distractions that might occur. You can also develop patterns to tell your brain you're getting ready for bed. That can be things, it's the stuff you normally do. It's brushing your teeth. Maybe you have a cup of tea. Maybe you read for a while, but things that don't involve your computer. Your computer or other electronic devices that emit white light. Read for a while before you go to bed. Even if you don't stop using your Computer or other things, many phones and computers have an option where you can set it on, sometimes they call it bedtime mode, sometimes they call it yellow light, things like that, so that you're not getting that white light and everything's got a slightly yellowish cast, which doesn't send your brain those stay awake signals. And if you do that about 2 hours before you're going to go to bed, your brain starts to get the message of, hey, maybe it's time to sleep. Another really important thing is exercise. And so if you're able to exercise, maybe your routine's been broken up with this, or maybe you aren't getting out as much. A lot of gyms are closed. And honestly, a lot of us are using our spoons on other things because we're trying to manage the fear and anxiety and stress that goes along with this, along with if your parents, the kids being home, and worrying about your parents if you're older, things like that. So, and yourself if you're immunocompromised or otherwise at risk. So try to get some exercise, however exercise is defined for you. For me, I love these walks. And so I'm making sure I at least go out and I'm outside going for a walk a little bit every day, because I notice that the days I don't go for walks, it's harder for me to fall asleep at night because I didn't get that bit of exercise and I didn't get the time in nature and so on. So I really encourage everybody to think about what your schedules or lack thereof has become. And if you're having some trouble sleeping, step back and do some problem solving for how you can fix that. It might be getting back on a schedule, and it might be creating something new for yourself. Hey, this is a time to experiment with things. Everything's messed up anyway, so why not develop some new schedules and some new patterns to help you improve your sleep habits? As soon as I get back to the house, I'm going to link in a post I have about sleep hygiene and another post that I've written about why sleep and disability are so strongly entangled. A lot of people with disabilities have a hard time sleeping, and there's a percentage of disabling conditions that are directly related to sleep issues. So it works both ways, and sleep is essential. The other big thing to think about is the more sleep you get, the stronger your immune system is likely to be. Because one of the things among others that sleep does is it cleans your system out. And it does kind of garbage collection duty of toxins and other negatives, as well as processing through some thoughts and things in your mind. So if you're not getting a good night's sleep, you're also potentially damaging your immune system a bit or weakening it a little bit. And right now, we all need our immune systems to be as strong as possible. With social distancing, we're going to help flatten the curve, but there are still going to be people who get COVID-19, and there's still always a risk of exposure. We can minimize it, but we can't completely stop it. So I want everybody to take a breath, think about their lives, and I want you to think about your life, your schedule. What's going on with you right now? What's different? What's the same? What can you build some healthy patterns off of? What can you run with to make your life better, easier, and more comfortable? And just make sure that you integrate your sleep needs into all of this. And the other part is, if you're sleeping a lot, give yourself some grace about that. You probably need it. Anxiety is exhausting. Fear is tiring. We're surrounded by reasons to be worried right now. Not reasons to panic, but reasons to worry. And so just living right now with the information that's out there, with the concerns that are out there, that's going to tire you out. That's going to make you either wound up, which is tiring, or simply tired. So give yourself grace. Be kind to yourself. Be forgiving of yourself. And make sure that you're getting the sleep that you need, however much or little that is. And like I said, building some patterns around that may help you to better manage your sleep and get better quality sleep every night. All right, so thank you so much for your time, And I'll talk to you again soon. Keep thriving. Bye, everybody.